Let's talk about influence for a minute. Not power or authority, but real influence. How to actually make a difference in other people's lives. Their decisions, their actions, maybe even the prism through which they view the world. This may come naturally for some people, but not for me, and probably not for you either. Most people have to work at it. One of my favorite quotes about leadership is from General Colin Powell. Now, he was talking about formal leadership exercised in the military, but this applies equally well to informal leadership exercised through influence. He says, "Leadership is solving problems. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you have stopped leading them. They've either lost confidence that you can help or concluded that you do not care. Either case is a failure of leadership." This sums up to me the two pillars of influence: competence and caring. People have to know that there's value in what you're saying and doing, and they have to know that you want to help them. And this perspective is backed up by the experts. Let's look at the example of Heidi Roizen, a mentor capitalist from Silicon Valley. She spent years developing her network just by being genuinely interested in smart, talented, interesting people. Many of those people became very powerful in the tech industry. As vice president of worldwide developer relations at Apple, she had to test the strength of that network by trying to convince companies to stick with Apple during a very difficult time. Now, no matter how strong those personal relationships were, those tech executives weren't going to put their companies on the line if she didn't also consistently show exceptional ability as a tech executive herself. They trusted her personally, and they trusted her professional judgment. How did she build those networks? By drawing people into her ordinary life, inviting them over to her house or to go with her running errands, letting people into her world. She is what Brian Uzi and Shannon Dunlap would call a network broker, an individual with a wide, diverse network of people who may have no other connection other than her. When her children were little and she didn't have as much time, she would throw dinner parties at her house and spend time developing the perfect guest list, a perfect mixture of people she thought should meet each other from different parts of her network. She's known for strategically leveraging her network as a mentor capitalist, connecting tech startups with power players in the industry. She excels at this precisely because she has the expertise and experience to make mutually beneficial connections. She is what Adam Grant would call an otherish giver. In his book, Give and Take, he describes these successful givers as those who are looking for mutual benefit for both people being introduced, looking for ways to meet the needs of others without sacrificing too much herself. She isn't going to waste a good potential contact on someone who just won't truly benefit from it. So how do we get there? We may not become Silicon Valley power players, but we can absolutely get better at building our own networks and using them to help create opportunities for everyone. Brian Uzi and Shannon Dunlap suggest starting with shared activities such as team sports or charity work. This type of interdependent activity builds on those same skills highlighted by General Powell: caring and competence. Teams grow together when everyone does what is best for the team instead of trying to shine themselves. But they have to demonstrate actual skills or the team will lose. Uzi and Dunlap also suggest developing relationships with people who are not in positions of formal authority. This comes naturally for the people that Adam Grant refers to as givers. Givers naturally look for ways to help others without expecting anything in return, so they're more likely to focus on those with less power or influence themselves, since they're not worried about currying favors with people above them in the pecking order. Robert Cialdini gives us some great ideas to harness the power of our networks by using the power of persuasion. Interestingly, at least 4 of his 6 principles of persuasion also fall into General Powell's caring and competency model. First, people like those who like them. This one's pretty simple. Find things you have in common with people, pay attention to those similarities, and offer genuine compliments and praise. This is all about showing you care, right? The caution here is that it has to be genuine. This can help develop new relationships as well as repair damaged ones. If there's someone at your office that you don't get along well with, try to find something that you can sincerely appreciate about them and let them know. It's amazing what a sincere compliment can do to change their opinion about you. Second, people repay in kind. This principle leverages Adam Grant's research that shows most people are matchers. They pay back favors to keep the scales even. Regardless of your personal approach to reciprocity, you can use this principle to make it more likely that others will help you when you need it. Third, people follow the lead of similar others. To put this into practice, identify those who already agree with you and use them to influence others. This is all about using your network to support your plans. Fourth, people align with their clear commitments. Ask people to write down and share their commitment to a particular action, and they're more likely to follow through with it. Fifth, people defer to experts, so make sure they know you are one. In some settings, this means making sure that all of your diplomas and certificates and degrees are framed on your office wall. More often than not, you can casually mention in informal settings your training, your experience, your expertise. It can be tempting to be self-deprecating, but be careful. If you don't give yourself credit, it's hard for you to get credit from others, and it may make it difficult for them to trust your opinion. Finally, people want more of what they can have less of. Make careful use of exclusive information that hasn't been made public yet. Use that to your advantage by using it to prove your confidence and your commitment to the relationship. Now, if you're one of Adam Grant's givers, you'll use these tips to help others in the network. But if you're a taker and use these tips to manipulate others to do what's in your own best interest, be careful. It may work in the short term, but in the long run, the matchers in your life are going to find ways to exact karmic revenge. People don't like being manipulated, especially against their own interests. True influence should be used for the greater good. Use these skills to make a positive difference. Thank you.